Hello, this is Komilla Sutton, and we are on second part of the Truth About Saturn video. And today I'm talking about the Dasha of Saturn and how to deal with the Dasha. So the Dasha of Saturn lasts for 19 years. So it's almost like a large chunk of the lifetime. And within that dashas are a very important part of Vedic astrology because they represent the unfolding of the karma. So if you are going into Saturn Dasha, you should be prepared for it. It's a long time. It's not going to do anything quickly. It takes its time. It slowly gives its message to you. So, be prepared for it. Be patient. So when you go into Saturn Dasha, the first section of Saturn will be Saturn. So that is the most intense part of Saturn. Firstly, as you come into Saturn Dasha, you've been enjoying 16 years of Jupiter, which is way more easy to deal with. And then you come into Saturn, and then the rules are there. You have to do this, you have to work hard, you have to follow the things, and you deal with obstacles. Something I see very often with clients is they come to me and they say, oh, I'm going to give up my job. I want to have an easier time. That should not be an option for you, especially if Saturn Dasha is coming during your working life. Sometimes even people in near retirement, they come into Saturn Dasha. They have to work, they have to take responsibility because that is part of what Saturn is doing. You may not be taking responsibility by doing a job, but there will be other responsibilities that you have to take on. So your mindset should be ready to deal with that. And but generally the start of the Dasha and the 2.5+ years of Saturn Dasha, Saturn bhukti, that is the most intense time of it. After that, we come into Saturn Mercury. So then the secondary planets start acting out. So you have the overview that you're in Saturn Dasha, but then you have all the different planets, their bhuktis coming. Of course, that depends. It's difficult to say how each bhukti will affect, but it really depends on the personal chart. You can read generic things, but each chart will be different because where the planet is placed, how it is. So if Saturn is a good planet for your ascendant, and I talked about the ascendant in the last video. If Saturn is in a good planet for you, then he is going to give you a positive effect, and you'll be quite happy to deal with his restrictions, and you have a natural energy to work hard and do things. But if he's not a good planet for you, then you have to learn to love him. And because he's going to rule 19 years of your life, I remember when I came into Saturn Dasha, I had no idea that what's going to happen. I was in Jupiter, everything was very casual, and Saturn said, this is the reality, face it. But fortunately, with some blessing, I faced the reality, and this is where, it gave me this fantastic career in Jyotish and hard work and many books and everything. So I think that, but it was not a good planet for my Lagna. So I had to work with that because it was not the natural energy. So remember, when Saturn is not a good planet for your Lagna, you feel its restrictions more. Therefore, you have to work that little bit extra to understand, maybe read about it, understand it, and work with it. And the best thing with Saturn likes is, and in his Dasha, is working yourself. He doesn't like that you throw money at a remedy. If you want to do a remedy for Saturn, you should do it. And one of the best remedies for Saturn is karma yoga, doing some selfless job, something that you can do. And you have to remember that it's a long period of your life that he is dealing with. You can see other things. Is Saturn your ruler, Atma Karaka ruler, then he will give some strong energy. If he's in a yoga, he's strongly placed in the chart, then also he will help you to overcome the obstacles. But the key way to deal with Shani Dasha is to be realistic, to be practical, and to understand where you are. Saturn is not going to live in imagination. He's not going to be appreciate that. So 2 times that you have to be very conscious with Shani, the bhuktis of Shani that are difficult, Saturn, Sun, Saturn, Mars, the enemies, planets, and the last bhukti of Saturn, Saturn, Jupiter, because it is the last bhukti as Saturn is ending its energy. So you need to be conscious of that so that you can be, as you end the dasha, you're coming into Mercury, something new. But always as we begin a dasha and we end a dasha, we need to be conscious about it. And in those difficult dashas, then you are dasha bhukti, you are conscious of it. Then you can also experience Shani as a bhukti. That means it's in any dasha. Every dasha will have a Shani bhukti. So you can experience as a sub-period. The sub-period can be as long as 1 year and short as 1 year and then long as 2.5, 3 years. The 2 bhuktis that are unusual for Saturn, Saturn, Venus, Venus, Saturn, they are supposed to bring transformation and change. And you do see them bringing change, and be prepared for that. But at every time the Shani Bhukti comes, you think about some mantra for Shani. I have to work hard, I have to take responsibility, I have to be realistic. 3 things that if you remember, your Shani Bhukti will be very successful. So I'm going to continue with this video. The 3rd video is about the transit and talk a little bit about Sarasati as well. So again, I thank you all very, very much to listen to me and be part of this experience. And I will see you soon. Please do subscribe to me. I'm going to keep this very interesting short conversational pieces for you to activate your thinking and about Jyotish. I love Jyotish, so I'm going to talk about it. And also go to my website, komilla.com. Thank you very much.